Today I'm thinking about endings and how often they start new beginnings. The Carvers are sitting vigil for one of my older cousins, in a way. We've got pretty good technology to help us form these circles now.
Car phone in my hand, calling cousins one by one. They dial in on command. I held the phone up to his ear, hoping he could hear.
Back when my dad was in hospice, we had the hospital phone and my car phone, so that was interesting. I went down to my car phone and got my address book out, and then I called all of his family and friends. I went through the address book and I said, okay, look, we've got a hospital phone, but I can't dial out long distance, so you're going to have to dial in. So let me get you on the schedule. Uncle Bob, I want you to call at 10, and Cousin Betty, I want you to call at 10:30. And I just went through and scheduled them all. Now, he could hear, but he couldn't speak. And the phone was not a speaker phone, so I would hold the phone up to his ear. Now, the thing was, I couldn't really tell when they were through talking to him, so I would get down and try and listen. A couple times I thought they were through, and I would pick the phone up and realize, oops, they're still talking, and I'd put it back down. And that's how we did our circle back when Dad was in hospice. But it still worked. It was a family circle, it was supportive, and it was a good thing.
But I've got Grandpa's fishing tails and Grandma's kitchen hands, and voices in the crackle line still calling through the lands.
At first you're busy with all the details, right? And the caretaking, and then, of course, the grieving process. And then one day you wake up and realize, oh, I'm the elder. And what's my legacy going to be? And, of course, there are a lot of different ways to leave a legacy, all the way from money to leaving recipes, or maybe you built something cool, or maybe you just tell stories. There are always stories. No matter what else you leave, you can have stories.
Telling what I can. Forget the charts and software, the footnotes in the drawer.
So maybe you realize that one day. You go, oh yeah, I need to tell these family stories. And you start thinking, well, at a minimum, I'll tell them to my kids and grandkids at dinner. And maybe you're even thinking, oh, you know what? I'm going to get my phone and I am going to record some stories into the recording device on my phone. Maybe you're even thinking, I'm going to get my computer out and or a notebook, and I'm going to write some stories down. Boy, you're just getting all these plans. You are gung-ho at this point, right? But you start procrastinating a little bit, and you're maybe feeling a little guilty because you haven't started, and it starts to become this big deal in your head, and it's feeling like more than you can do. So maybe you go to the library and you check out a book on genealogy, and you start reading it, and this book says you're supposed to order vital records like birth certificates and death certificates, and then you're supposed to type all this information into some family tree software, like you're supposed to get Roots something or other, or Gramps install things on a computer. Oh boy. Then you think, maybe I should get some help online. So you go onto Facebook and you find an online forum that says it's genealogy, and you think, these people will help me. And oh boy, on this, there are some really preachy people on this, and they start talking about citing your sources, and then you get to looking at all this and you go, oh boy, I don't even know if I'm qualified to share my family stories. Maybe I'll just wait a while.
It's not the names and dates, it's the voices on the line. You don't need a family tree to let the story shine.
Please don't do that. Just put the genealogy book down. You don't need a family tree to tell stories. You don't need to cite any sources to tell your family stories. I mean, there's nothing wrong with family trees and sources and all of that. That's all just fine if you want to do that. But you don't need it to get started. I don't know when my grandparents left life, if there was a circle around them. And I don't know if my parents' generation made that leap to think, oh, I'm the elder now. They were all really young when my grandparents died. But what I do know is that they kept my grandparents' memories alive by telling us stories when we were growing up. And so while I don't know anything about the afterlife, I do know that my grandparents are alive in our memories because of those stories. So that's just about all I had to say today. While we sit vigil, start thinking about the stories and get ready to tell them. You can do it. You don't need a family tree. You don't need to cite your sources. And you don't need any preachy people on some Facebook forum to tell you how to do it. You can do it.
It's not the names and dates, it's the voices.